Hello, Divine Diva. We are going to have a really good conversation today, and this is for my spiritual CEOs, my 4 a.m. club ladies, all of my divine divas that have created something special and they may be feeling some kind of way about it. Let's have a real conversation because I know what you've been feeling and no one wants to talk about it. No one is talking about it. So, you've built something. You did the thing that they said was impossible. You rose, you became the leader, you broke through limitations, you created success and impact, even an empire. And now there's silence that no one warned you about. The shift you didn't see coming. It's that success didn't feel the way you thought it would. It was exciting at first. The momentum was wild, the winds were stacking, you felt unshakable, you were in flow, and now it feels heavier. And you're wondering why. Like, why does it feel like there's a weight to it? Why, the more successful you become, the more you feel like you're holding or you feel like you're carrying something and no one else is talking about it. I've seen it time and time again. I've been in my industry for a long time. And I even saw this in corporate. There'd be a woman, she blew up fast. She reached a level of success that no one dreamed about. She thought she was unstoppable. Her business is scaling. Her career is like flying high. She's leading, she's powerful, she's everywhere, and then disappears. Maybe she's not posting as much. Maybe she starts talking about needing space and needing to recalibrate. She starts softening her message, and then one day she's gone. No warning, no explanation, just vanished. And what did they say? The industry says, oh, she burned out. She realized she wanted a slower life. Maybe she just, found something more aligned, right? And maybe that could be true. But let me tell you the truth of what really happened. There's a test that happens when you become successful. What really happened is that she hit a part of success that no one had talked to her about and prepared her for. Maybe it was the first Reddit thread that complained about her. Maybe it was the vague post that came after her post that she clearly can see somebody's talking about her that triggered the F out of her. Maybe it is the first moment that someone who used to praise her and used to love her starts to tear her down. Or the client who went from obsessed to, I don't even know if we resonate anymore. When that happened, it started to feel different. And not because she wasn't powerful, not because she isn't capable, not because she couldn't handle it, but because no one prepared her for that. And there's a reason why you don't hear people talking about it. It's because most women don't make it through this point. Most women don't know what to do when they get there. And it isn't about not having the right strategy or not working hard enough. This is about what happens when you become a mirror, when you become projected against. Because in the beginning, people were cheering from you. You were the rising star. People love to watch to see you climb. They love to see you in your full power. But then in power, but they don't love to see you at your fullest power, because when that happens, they get reflected back that they're not in their full power. Maybe they put you on a pedestal. And so then they start to project, they start testing you. They're like, are you sure you can handle this? And I want to tell you that you may not be prepared for it, but you were built for it. Like, what are you going to do when you hit this moment? Because it's not a question of if it happens, it's a question of when it happens. I'm not doom and gloom, and I'm positive pie. Patty, you know that I'm all about positivity. But if I don't prepare you for this moment, this is where you're going to collapse. And this is what I have seen over and over and over and over and over again. So many powerful women have just hit the scene, blew up, and then I'm like, what the hell happened? It happened, whatever happened, right? The test, the quote unquote test, because it's not a test, it's just you're moving beyond what's comfortable into the stratosphere of where you're supposed to like skyrocket and blow the fuck up. And when this happens, this is telling you you're ready for higher leadership. This wouldn't be happening if you weren't capable of holding it. You wouldn't have manifested this if you weren't capable of walking with it. It's not an accident that you created what you created. It's not an accident that you received the downloads or the uploads or the revelations from within that you did. You're not here to build it and then collapse it. You're here to build, sustain, and continue to grow and expand. So, why do so many women pull back? Why do so many women shrink when they reach this level? Why do so many women fall in this big trap? Why? Why do so many women, strong, powerful, brilliant geniuses, shrink the moment they reach the next level? But let me tell you this, it's not strategy, it's not burnout, it's about alignment. And there is a trap that has been created for all women because it was meant to keep us in this cycle, meant to keep us small. And it's the trap called fragility. The fragility trap. The world loves a fragile woman. They love when women fight with each other. They love when women are divided, and they love a woman to cry those tears. Certain women. The world is comfortable with it because they know exactly what to do with a woman who is struggling, who's overwhelmed. They celebrate it. If a woman says, this is too much, I need to step back, I'm going to focus on my family, I'm going to focus on myself, I'm going to go do the mental health, and all of those things are so important, but it depends on the energy with which you're saying it. If you're saying it because you don't think you can hold success, I want to tell you that was just something that was conditioned in you because they knew a woman in her power is afraid. This is why they burned so many women in their power. This is why they made so many stipulations. Oh, medicine women? Oh, no, they don't know what they're talking about. You need to go to medical school. You need to do this. You need to learn from this man. And we are blocking women so they can't go to this school. We are going to crash planes because we don't want them to think that they can pilot. We want to make them afraid of their own power so that we can send them into the house and tell them that the only thing that they can do is birth children. And then once they are no longer able to birth children, all they can do is go sit there and take care of them or take care of the women who also birth children, and that's it. That's all you can do. That's all you're here for. That's all you're here for. Sit down, shut up, do what I say. Society expects women to break because that's what they've conditioned into it. And this is what happens. When you refuse to shrink, the moment you hold your power, the moment you stop explaining yourself, the moment you refuse to carry your success like it's a burden, the world starts testing you. They start calling you a bitch. They start saying, ooh, she's awful. She's such a bitch. She's such a diva. Like they use that word like it's negative, not realizing diva means that you are divine. She who is divine. She who is in her divinity. She who is so good at what she does, she is awestrucking. That's what that means. When you decide not to play by their rules, not to prove yourself, not to over explain, not to soften your edges to be more digestible, people start to call you too much. They say you've changed. They say you're arrogant, you're out of touch, you're unrelatable. And then that's where most women break. Not because they're not capable, not because they can't hold success, but because no one prepared them for this. No one came to you and said, this is not a sign that something's wrong. This is a sign that you're expanding. Here we go. Because this isn't an industry thing. This is a generational thing. For centuries, women have been conditioned to believe that if something's heavy, they shouldn't have it. They should let it go. They should give it off to a man. If people are criticizing you, maybe you should change because you're the problem. If they feel pressure, they should soften, adjust, make themselves smaller. This programming runs deep. Because guess what? Guess what happens to men when they get tested at the top? They're taught to push through. They're taught to expect it. This is a part of leadership. Just keep going. When women get tested, maybe you're doing too much. Maybe you should slow down. Maybe you're not in your cycle. Pull back. Question yourself. And so that's what women do. They pull back. They question themselves. They wonder if they're made for it. It's programming. You have a choice. When things get hard, you have a choice. You can shrink, you can pull back, you can fall into this freaking fragility trap. Or you can decide that I'm the divine diva who holds power, who has resilience, which is a quality that was tried to be conditioned out of women. I've had these conversations with women at every single level, whether it's your first $10,000 month, your first $1,000,000 month, your first $100,000 month, women who have scaled to multiple 6 and 7 and 8 figures, who look and they're like, I look like I have it all together on the outside, but I'm starting to question myself, right? They've told me like, I thought making more money would feel safer, but I feel more pressure. I don't know how to handle it. I was watching this show. It's on Bravo, and it's Salt Lake City, and there's a woman. She's Mormon, and her husband's a real estate agent, and she was getting some success in her network marketing business, and she was just like, it's so much pressure now, right? So she just was just, I don't know how I can handle it. And my sister and I looked at each other and we're like, yeah, there's so many women that are feeling that. I'm not sure I can handle it. And this is where they pull back because they think it's because they're not capable, or they think they need to hire somebody who's going to be able to handle it better. And the truth is, it's not about that. You wouldn't have created that. You wouldn't have manifested that. You wouldn't have brought that to you if it wasn't something that you could hold. Resilience was conditioned out of most women. And so, what you get to do is you get to remember that I am powerful. This is why I created Divinity House. I created it because I'm resilient. I have always been. I do not crumble. And it could be things that I have, like, gotten from my ancestors, and I can feel them in this room as I'm giving this podcast. But ancestral line, past lives, there is strength and there is resilience that was brought into me. There are things that I've had to deal with throughout my life, things that people would be like, wow, you've handled that like a boss. And I never let anything tear me down. If I see a setback, I'm like, oh, that's is what it is. Now what? That's where that came from. Any moments that tested me that I wasn't prepared for, I decided to say, oh, that's interesting. This is what I want. And there was a moment 3 or 4 years ago. My business was skyrocketing. I decided, I was like, I am calibrating to a $50,000 a month. And baby, I had it. I had the $60,000 a month. I had just moved into this beautiful apartment. Yeah, it's almost 4 years ago. It was divine. I bought my Tesla. I was like living in a high-rise apartment. I decided to like change up my life. And guess what? It was a moment where I decided I'm going to hit my $100,000 a month. And I started to look outside of me to somebody who was doing amazing. And she had just had like a $500,000 a month, and she had a cool energy. And I was like, yes, I'm going to work with her. And so I went and I over invested. Every 2 weeks, $2,000 coming out, coming out, coming out. I overinvested. I didn't shift my focus. I was in a space where I was feeling overwhelmed, and I thought for, investing in one-to-one and in this mastermind was going to be the thing that was going to help me rise into that. And I thought I needed another strategy. I thought I needed a funnel. I thought I needed lead generation. I thought I needed that. But when I got COVID, I got sick, and then the overwhelm started coming in, and I just started to feel stressed and stressed and stressed and stressed and stressed. And I went to my coach at the time, and she had just said how she had a breakdown with her coach, and her coach held her through that. So I was like, oh, so she's going to know how to hold me, but she didn't. And that was okay, because that's not what her brilliance was. Her brilliance was more strategy. Her brilliance was lead generation. What I needed at that time wasn't strategy, wasn't lead generation. I already had so many years of like managing $100 million brands, $1 billion brands, adding hundreds of millions to bottom lines. I didn't need strategy. I needed an energetic container that would hold me, that would support me and remind me of my vision, remind me of who I was, reflect back to me that this was just a moment of me stretching. I needed someone who would look me in the eyes and tell me, you were built for this. You can handle this. Stop running. I needed someone who would do what I would do and flip flop slap me back and reflect my power back to me and say, girl, this happens to all of us. Now we just need to get you, like, this is where you're stretching into that capacity. This is where you get to go. Not someone that tells me that I'm not. How did she say? Someone that tells me that I'm not embodying my work because I was human. I needed someone to remind me of my resilience. I needed someone to say, girl, you've been through more storms than this. This ain't nothing. That's what I needed. That's what you need at this time. You don't need another strategy. You don't need a marketing method. You don't need a formula. Any business strategy will work. Any marketing strategy will work. Any formula will work. That's not what you need. What you need right now is energetic and spiritual. What you need is quantum healing and power remembrance. What you need is flip flop slaps of love to remind you built this, you can hold it. You created this, you're capable of keeping it. You are powerful beyond your belief. And you need that. You need someone who's going to walk you through a line soul alchemy. Be like, okay, what are you aware of? What are you feeling in your body? What can you acknowledge right now? The things that you were trying to hide, that I don't think that, I don't want to know, I don't want to admit that I think that, I don't want to let anybody know that I think that. You need to acknowledge that you think that so we can let it go. You need someone who's going to walk you into the only identity you'll ever need, the divine diva. Because you're already positive, you're already determined, you're already a woman who celebrates other women's success, you're already somebody who sees everyone else's success as your own and vice versa, you're already somebody that knows you create your reality, you're already the strongest woman in the room. That's why I created Divinity House. It is a space where you are the divine diva. It is a space where you step into God frequency. It is a space where magic and miracles become your baseline because you are magic and you are the miracle. It's a space where you become the diva. You remember you are God. A diva is a woman who is at the top of her craft, a woman beyond belief. She is the divine within her. This is where you become the divine diva. You remember your divinity in your body. You learn how to move in God frequency. You learn how to shift timelines with your decisions. You learn how to create magic and miracle because you are the magic and the miracle. Inside Divinity House is a year-long commitment. It's a space where you stay strong, focused, and locked on your vision. Not only do you get a private millionaire frequency activation call with me, it's where your next level is locked instantly, where we dissolve resistance and we expand your wealth frequency and activate the level of power like you've never had it before. But you also have monthly divine expansion calls. These calls that happen a couple of times a month. They are high frequency, energetic activations that make success effortless. We clear resistance in these calls. We expand your leadership. We align you with the limitless wealth and influence that you know you're meant to carry. You are a light worker. You are an ascension anchor. You are the person that everyone is looking to. And it doesn't matter what you do, whether it's copywriting, whether it's marketing, business coaching, or entertainment, it doesn't matter. People are looking to you to understand how to move through this. And you need to clean up your side of the street as you're helping them. You also get access to Divine Diva Live. It is a live luxury in person convention. It is where you walk as the icon, the Divine Diva, and you are activated, beyond activated. And you get access to the Divine Library, which is the Netflix of all of the things that you need. It's where you learn Aligned Soul Alchemy, the Gap Eraser, the Higher Self to Higher Self activations, the PEB method, all of those things that help you shift into the woman who leads movements, dissolve limitations instantly, embody the version of the you who has it all, divine downloads, speaking to things, changing things, quantum level shifts, where we do somatics and mindset work and energy work. It's all combined, it's all in one. It's the reason why I am known for rapid, permanent transformation. And you get it all in Divinity House. You see, before Divinity House, maybe you feel the weight of your success. You overthink or second guess or feel the pressure needing to get it right. You carry the success as a burden. You feel like you're responsible for your team and your clients and all the things, and the responsibility feels heavy. After you join Divinity House, you hold success effortlessly. You make $1,000,000 decisions without hesitation. You feel full certainty, full power, and full God frequency. You don't chase opportunities, they chased you. You move in the world with power, and you shift your reality with ease. This is Divinity House. Look, you've been wanting this space for a long time. You wanted a space that was powerful enough to hold all of you. And every time you sit with yourself, you feel everything that you've built, and something whispers, I know there's more. You don't need motivation. You don't need another push. You don't need strategy, a 5-step plan, a business hack. You need a place where you can exhale. A place where you get to say, you know, I created it. It's a lot right now. A place where you get to know that I'm not alone. A place where you get reminded of your divinity, of your God frequency, of the fact that the ascended angels, the masters, God within you, God around you, the gods in this group, the divine divas are all holding your hand and helping you walk through this, because you're holding their hand and helping them walk through this. You are the spark. We've created wildfire. You know that even with all of this success, all of the power, all the money, all the wins, that you are the leader, you are the God, you are a force of nature. And that's why I created Divinity House, not to be another mastermind or to be another place where the only conversation is about money or money wins or strategy and the next thing you need to do. This is where you remember the divinity that you are. It is your next evolution. You don't need a space where you're trying to prove yourself. You don't need a community where you have to shrink to filter your words. You don't need a space where people are telling you how to lead. You need a space where you get to be the leader. So, just remember this. I don't need to tell you to trust yourself. You've already made that decision, because you wouldn't be here listening, feeling, nodding if your soul wasn't screaming yes. Divinity House is where you step in, where you hold it all frequently, effortlessly, where you move in God frequency and without force. Become the woman who expands without limits. Divinity House is waiting for you. Stay bougie, be healed, and keep it divine.